In this video, we're going to be continuing our business structure series by having a look at the small size businesses. We've already had a look at the solopreneur as well as the micro businesses. And what we're going to do is go one up on this episode, and we're going to look at the small size businesses. What does that actually mean? What a typical business structure actually looks like? What are the challenges and what to do to fix those challenges so that you can grow to the next level? All that and a whole bunch more coming right up in this video. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. Hit it. Right, in the last couple of videos, we spoke about the micro-sized business, and we defined that as having a team of up to about 10 employees and having a turnover of no more than £2 million or around about $2.75 million. The small size business is a little bit bigger, and in Europe, at least, it's defined as having a team of between 10 to 50 employees, as well as a turnover of no more than £10 million or around about $13 to $14 million, depending on the exchange rate. Right, so now at least we know what a small size business is. Let's have a look at what a typical structure for that business looks like. One of the main fundamental differences that you will see when you're moving up from a micro size business to a small size business is that you begin to start having small teams led by a particular manager. So instead of just having a marketing person or a salesperson, you probably might have a marketing or a sales and marketing manager for your customer division or for your sales and marketing division, depending on how you're structuring your business. And within that sales and marketing person will have underneath them a team of sales and marketing people. And that's how you will begin to start looking at your business as you begin to grow. You're going to begin to pass down not only and delegate out tasks to people, but you're going to start delegating out authority where you are saying, run this for me, just do it. And that's kind of what you would want to be doing. But that's not as easy as it sounds, because what we're going to discover as we're going to start looking at the challenges later on, that's really easier said than done. But what I want you to think about here is now we're going to start having these particular units, the customer unit and the product units, and they are going to be led by leads of that particular unit, and underneath them they will have people within their own sort of individual teams. However, in the business operation side of things, you're going to be looking at now starting to add people in-house that you probably wouldn't have had before. So for example, you might start having now an HR function, whereas before you were doing a lot of the hiring and a lot of the sort of seeing out who to hire. You might also have spoken to a couple of people outside that could have done that for you, but within now a small size business, you really need to start having an HR function, not only to find the best people that you want to hire, but also to start putting down policies in place, to start looking at sort of leave and holidays and sort of pay and all of these kind of things, and how to actually keep the teams motivated and what kind of communication lines go between them. So a lot of things now need to start happening inside the HR function, and that is why you will probably need to start hiring out a person within the HR function as well as the finance function. So again, as a micro-sized business or a solopreneur, you could have easily outsourced a bookkeeper or an accountant or both, but now you're going to begin to want to have a finance person in-house so that they can actually now save you money by investing money in hiring them, because they will be looking at tax efficient ways as well as other potential ways in terms of where to invest money, where to save money, how to do these particular things, to actually start looking at forecasting models for you to see, right, this is our cash flow forecast over the next couple of years, and this is what we intend to do, and this is how we sort of divide our pockets of money and put them in the right places, as well as having a budget for marketing and so on and so forth. You might also have a purchasing function now. Again, before that, in terms of having a micro-sized business, you probably did a lot of the purchasing yourself. But now you're going to have lots of different teams and lots of different individuals doing certain different aspects inside your business. Remember, you are wearing a lot of hats as a micro-sized business as well as a solopreneur. And now you're going to start hiring out people to fill those roles, and you really start taking the function of the CEO of your business. And within that team, you're going to now start distributing these hats to different people, and they are going to have their needs in terms of technology, in terms of materials, in terms of stationery, in terms of support, in terms of what kind of software they need, what kind of a whole bunch of things. And that's going to have a different sort of section of purchasing that you're going to need to start giving to people. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself crazy if you try and do that all yourself. So now we're beginning to look at the business operation side of things, and that's where things become a little bit meatier in terms of HR function, finance function, purchasing function. And also potentially in your product unit, you might start hiring people to do a little bit more R&D so that you're not just continuously developing now, but you're beginning to start looking ahead in terms of how to start developing future products or services that you might have. So these are the main fundamental things that will begin to start changing. You might also need to look into getting stronger legal advice, because now as you're beginning to grow, a lot of people are going to start noticing you and maybe start copying you in terms of IP, copyright protection, trademarks, and that kind of sort of area. You need to make sure that you are now, as you're growing your business, you're growing it in value and you're protecting your intellectual property, and being able to speak to a legal team. Whether you bring someone in-house or not, it depends on how fast you're growing. But this is something that you can still make sure that you're outsourcing, but it becomes a lot more important than it did when you were still a solopreneur or a micro-sized business. So these are the things that the elements that begin to start changing. You're also going to potentially need to start getting an operations person, because up until you had your micro-sized business and solopreneur, you might have had a person being your integrator who would put down some tasks or log down and document the systems and processes that you had inside your business. But now you might start looking at logistics in terms of now delivering your product or service on a bigger scale to a wider market, to more people, how that is going to actually function. So you're going to need to make sure that your external operations are optimized as well as your internal operations, and being able to have a person inside your business to be able to look at all of your operations and make sure that everything is optimal, effective, consistent, repeatable, all of that good stuff that you need to make sure that you have inside your business. That's the person that you're going to need to start doing. Let's have a look now at some of the challenges and what we might get in terms of having a small size business. If you've been listening to what I've been saying, it's going to become apparent that you are now hiring a lot of people and you are now bringing in more people. You're expanding your team, you're expanding your market, you're expanding your everything inside your business. And one of the biggest things that small business owners actually struggle as they're growing this part of the business, and it really catches them off guard, and I've seen this time and time again, and they don't expect it. Listen carefully. It's actually your profitability. Profitability becomes a huge challenge because you're beginning to invest in growing your business. You're beginning to hire people. You're beginning to really start finding now no longer just VAs or assistants. You're beginning to find the best of the best so that they can actually really grow your business. And that comes at a price. So you're beginning to pay these people more. You're beginning to advertise more. Your budgets are all going to grow a lot bigger. You might be making more turnover and your turnover is increasing. And I hear this a lot where people and business owners say, look, I've just recorded my largest quarter in turnover. However, I'm still losing money, and I wasn't losing money when I was making less money. So what gives? And this is a real challenge. This is why I also mentioned one of the things that becomes really important is having a finance person in-house so that you can really stay on top of your budget. Because if you don't do that, it's fine to invest money and it's fine to cut your bottom line a little bit, as long as you know that the return on investment that you're putting in is going to come back and you can survive from a cash flow perspective to be able to live that and sort of survive that so that you can see the other side of it. So that becomes a really crucial challenge, and one that really should not be underestimated. Let's have a look at the second most crucial challenge right now. The second most crucial challenge is a micromanaging owner struggling to let go. Is that you? Maybe. I've seen it time and time again. I've been there. I've fallen for the same trap because it's your baby. You've been growing this business for maybe potentially a few years now, and you've been really having sleepless nights and hours of like pain and misery and glory and all of that good stuff and emotions. And now you're bringing in people who want to have a budget and want to have decision making so that they can actually grow their teams as well. And they're saying, hey, you give me decision-making authority and give me a budget and I'll see you next quarter and I'll let you know how it goes. And you would say, what? It's okay. You're probably going to see them before that if you're doing your job well, but that's what it kind of comes down to, is they're saying, right, give me a playing field here, give me a budget, give me time, give me my team, and I will go and find my team. I'm going to hire people that you might not even interview, where you've been making sure that you're interviewing all of these people up until now and making sure that they're the right fit. The trick here is to make sure that you've got the right systems and processes in place. You've got and really sort of worked with your HR people to actually say, this is our working culture. This is what we stand for. This is not what we stand for. And still, even then, letting go is really hard, and being able to sort of give that power away to other people whilst you get less of it is actually quite a challenge, and it's quite a daunting challenge, and not a lot of people actually get through it. And that's why still businesses will either stay as micro businesses or smaller and not see themselves grow to the next level, or they just grow to that next level and end up not making enough profit and not giving enough control, and people start leaving because they start frustrated, and profit just keeps going down, and it will bring the business to ruin, unfortunately. And that's not what I want for you as you are growing your business. So really make sure that all your ducks are in order before you even start hiring people. Make sure that you've got the right systems and processes in place. Make sure that you know how you're going to start delegating authority, who's going to be responsible for stuff, who's going to be accountable, who's going to be just, consulted and informed. There's a RACI matrix. I'll do a video on that. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video in terms of how you start delegating authority. And in the next part of this episode, we're going to have a look at some more challenges for the small size business and what to do about it so that we can grow that business and tackle those challenges head on. This is an entire series for business structures at all stages of business size. So there's going to be a link below to actually watch the entire playlist so that you can not miss a bit. See you in the next episode.